Smackdown, March 24th, 2023. A light episode of Smackdown. Not too heavy, but of course, we got a major angle on this show with Ray finally have enough of Dominic. It was tame in comparison to what I would have wanted, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's just do news and notes peppered throughout the show. The top note, I guess you could say, is Rhea Ripley going on Twitter acting out about fans approaching them in airports and chasing them down and stuff like that for autographs. I really wish wrestlers was to start packing heat, and when you, especially the females, because if you start feeling threatened, it's probably the best response to that situation is to get these guys to not follow you as you go to the Uber and stuff like that. Like, come on. There's been like hella stories of this, like Rey Mysterio and Liv Morgan or whatever, and people trying to do this whole gotcha stuff where they break out the cameras to see you saying no. And they may even and you have to understand, they get paid to do signings. So why would they want to do a signing for free? Really? Especially for a grown adult person. It makes no sense. If it was a child and you just happen to catch them at an airport, I'm sure they would be okay with that. But if you're a full-grown adult man and you run over to a pro wrestler because you saw them in person, I fully support the wrestler either knocking you out or let's say go into more extreme measures. Stay in your lane and stay away from them. And stay away from any celebrity you might see in person. I mean, I understand it might be very exciting because I don't see celebrities in person, so I don't know how to act. But just maintain your composure and try not to drool and spit, and certainly don't follow them around holding action figures that you're going to turn around and try to sell on eBay. Please don't do that. I was actually more surprised how many people are like, the wrestlers are wrong for talking about this. I was actually more surprised by that than the fact that these fans are rabid lunatics. I'm not surprised by that at all. I'm more surprised at the people who are like, it's part of the job. It comes with the job. I'm like, no, it don't. I mean, I get that sometimes, you want to be accessible, but you don't want to be to the point where somebody can grab you or, they feel like they can confront you. And it's pretty nutty that these people are following your hotel and everything. Hell no. That's dangerous. No way. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm too paranoid for that, brother. Way too paranoid for that. The only other note, I guess, for lack of a better word, is that Vince has paid off the $17.4 million that he owes the company. And the situation is now settled, apparently. The company did their investigations. They came up with, all of these issues. They found nothing criminal, really. So I guess he's still looking for, these politically motivated district attorneys or whatever, the federal government, and maybe some outside lawsuits that, probably need to be dealt with. But other than that, as far as him and the WWE is concerned, this thing is over. So, okay. I'm pretty sure that's going to upset some people, but it's been over for me for a long time now. After I found out he wasn't going to go to jail or anything like that, I figured this thing was over. All right, let's move on to Smackdown. There might be some other stuff that might jog my memory as we go along. All right. Cody Rhodes goes 20 minutes with Ludwig Kaiser. I don't understand why this match was 20 minutes. Look, I like Ludwig Kaiser. A lot of people don't know that he's second generation as well. But the way he was working in this match was so light that it was a disservice to him. Because this match is, 2 weeks before WrestleMania. Actually, a week before WrestleMania, I'm sorry. Then he didn't want to hurt Cody. So some of the stuff, like he did a chop block, in here. And it was the lightest chop block I probably have ever seen in a wrestling show. You would think that Ludwig Kaiser was one of the softest workers ever, watching him work in this match. But we know that he's actually quite good, but he's in this position because he don't want to be the guy that's going to screw up the WrestleMania main event, which is probably why Cody shouldn't be wrestling this close to the show. I mean, he spent weeks not wrestling. Now, 2 weeks before the show, he's going to start wrestling and stuff. It's pretty crazy. All right, after the match, Paul Heyman and Cody had a promo segment. Cody is owed an apology because Samantha Irvin did a poor job of introducing him and announcing his victory. So Heyman did it himself. Then said that Cody is going to go one-on-one with Solo this Monday, and if he survives that, he's going to go face-to-face with Roman Reigns next week. Cody said that should he accept a challenge from somebody as dangerous as Solo less than a week before the biggest match in his family's history, he probably should say no. But he's going to do it. He's got to do it. Because Solo is not ready. And neither is Roman Reigns. I'm pretty sure Asuka's like, gimmick infringement. In any event, I'm guessing this match is going to end up being a disqualification. I don't see any reason why you need to give Solo his first pinfall defeat. You can break his winning streak just by having him get disqualified. So I think he got disqualified already though. So I would just go with Solo being a destroyer, beating down Cody, putting some injuries on him, maybe having him fight from underneath at WrestleMania, going into WrestleMania with a little bit of an injury. And so Roman doesn't have to do any work, doesn't have to put his hands on him or anything like that. Maybe they'll add some kind of stipulation where if Cody wins, the bloodline is banned from ringside or something like that. I don't know. If he's going to take a pinfall loss, I'm talking about Solo here, then yeah, that's kind of how I would do it. I would say if Cody wins, the bloodline is banned from ringside. That would be the way to do it. And that would include Paul Heyman. So that would be the best way to do it if you're going to give Solo a pinfall loss. But if you're just going to give him a disqualification, which is what I'm guessing, I would say they should jump him, Solo, jump him. Put the beats on him a little bit, splash him through a table or something like that, and then not create any sort of fake doubt that Cody might not make it to WrestleMania, but that he's gonna fight through whatever injuries he's got on Monday because he's got 6 or 7 days to prepare and to get ready. But have him go into WrestleMania with taped ribs or something, or they try to re-injure the torn pec or something like that. That might be nice. So, I'm not a huge fan of the match being made, but whatever. I'm thinking that maybe closer to WrestleMania, we probably should limit Cody's in-ring stuff. That's just me. I would think that he should have wrestled 2 weeks ago if that's what it was going to be. He should be taking the week off, but whatever. Moving on, Charlotte cut a promo. It wasn't very good because she got distracted by the what's. I don't know. She came out there and cut this soliloquy about being a 14-time champion and these 3 things that has been used against her entire career: fear, insecurities, and nepotism. As she was trying to go through this, she got whatted and then got distracted. She kind of tried to, she was defeated by the what's. Let's put it like that. She did the JOB to the what's. The what's got to her. This is important to me. What? I'm trying to talk about something. What? It's like, ugh. See, that's the thing. I hate the what chants. But you think people should have come up with a solid defeat for those things now. The amount of people who are still getting handled by what's is ridiculous. Anyway, the Charlotte says that fear is a lack of understanding. But this business isn't built on fear. It's built on respect. And that she respects Rhea Ripley. She said she respected Nikki and Brie. I'm like, what? She respected Sasha? Huh? And she's talking about how all these women she respected. She actually name dropped 3 people who are not even in WWE anymore. And if their names were openly, forgotten from the conversation, everybody would have noticed it. But I don't think anybody really, noticed that she said all these people. Remember, like when Bianca Belair does interviews, she doesn't mention Sasha Banks. And everybody's kind of noticed that. Like, she's not giving Sasha Banks no credit. It's like, they're not talking to Sasha Banks, So, but, so now she mentioned Sasha, so that's cool. But basically says she's never going to apologize for continuing the family legacy. And she has insecurities, definitely. But she built this house on the bricks that were thrown at her. The crowd just wants to turn on Charlotte. They want to turn on her very badly. they want to turn on Charlotte, and I think WrestleMania they will. I think WrestleMania they're turning on Charlotte, just because it's something new, not because particularly. I mean, Rhea Ripley is great and everything, and she is worthy of turning on Charlotte for, but because they haven't done anything to make you really get behind Charlotte, it just becomes Charlotte with her gigantic ego versus somebody that you want to see Charlotte get humbled. That's kind of what comes behind the what chance too. You know, you just kind of want to embarrass her a little bit. You know, it's very unfortunate, but you know, that's just kind of how I see it. All right, LA Knight defeats Rey Mysterio with a roll up because Dominic came ringside and tripped Rey. Match was okay. LA Knight gets a cheap win that means nothing because it's completely overshadowed by the following segment. LA Knight exits the ring. Dominic gets on the microphone, reiterates that he wants to fight his dad at WrestleMania. Rey is still not interested. He tells Rey to be a man. Rey still walks away. He asks his mom, what is it like being married to a pathetic loser? Then he leaves the ring, gets in her face, and says that she married a deadbeat, and she knew that he was a deadbeat. So that means she's a deadbeat mom. So then Aaliyah tried to take the microphone from him. He told her to shut up until she was too stupid to understand what was going on here. So then his mom took the microphone. He snatched it from her and screamed in her face for her to shut up. And so Rey marched down the ramp around ringside and punched Dominic in the face. Dominic took a great bump. Now, I wasn't a big fan of how they shot the punch, you know, from the camera angle. They shot the punch from behind, where you see Rey throw the punch, but you don't see it make any sort of connection. So, you would have liked to see that connection, but it was weird because you see Dominic's hair start going crazy. Then he falls down and he's looking up, you know, with the visual still, with the face and everything. Great job there by Dominic. Rey Mysterio was indignant, stood over Dominic, said, you know, you disrespect your mother. That is my wife that you're disrespecting here. And accepted the challenge. And I think all in all, it was a decent segment. It was mild in comparison to what I had envisioned in my head. Like, I envisioned Dominic pushing her, shoving her, running her down more than he did. But the crowd didn't seem to care. Like, when the punch finally came, everybody was super excited. There was people chanting, yes, you know, one more time, one more time. It was a great moment. Excellent moment, even though I you know, I'm a little critical of how they you know, how it was shot and the fact we didn't get to see the punch connect or anything like that. Dominic sold it like he got hit in the head with a bat, which is great because it fits into his crappy heel character, his little shitty chicken shit heel character. Angie has all the emotional range of a glazed donut. I just if you watch the WrestleMania watch along, and I talked about the hearts, that's kind of how Angie is. Like, I don't know what it would take to get emotion out of the Hart family. Like, they were so old at this point in time that trying to get emotions out of them, you might as well have got a vice and twisted their nose. Like, you will respond. Like, this is the only way to get these people to show any kind of emotion other than bewilderment. And like they're heavily medicated. And Angie is the same way. Where I was just like, my God. She's like, Dominic, and he just snatched the microphone. And I was like, she didn't sell that he snatched it. She didn't, you know, flop like Devox or something like that to show that he had done something to her or whatever. It was just kind of like stone-faced, like nothing. And I was like, I don't get it. I don't get that. She's she ain't got it. So Dominic didn't get to his charisma and personality from her side of the family. I can tell you that much. But the crowd went ape. It was great. Rey stood up for his wife. It was all tremendous. All right. Next match, Xia Li and Lacey Evans were defeated by Shotzi and Natalya. Just light this whole thing on fire. Just burn it all. The showcase match. Just shoot it. Kill it. Burn it. This match sucks. Lacey Evans, today is her birthday. And she gets put in a tag team against Xia Li. Oh, hey, look, it's Xia Li. She's still alive. She's here to get tapped out by Natalya. Oh my God, Natalya. Let's talk about Natalya for a minute. For starters, why is she in WrestleMania? What'd she get a WrestleMania spot for? Secondly, if you saw the Paige documentary, you probably saw the still frame of Natalya. I was listening to the Paige documentary. I didn't watch it. I listened to it like a podcast, because I was doing other things. And so when I saw the still frame of Natalya with that waxen look on her face, like, she had so much surgery. And you're like, no, actually. Not attractive at all, actually. Age gracefully. I know it's hard. She's a childless woman in her 40s. She wants to, wrestle as long as she possibly can. But it might be time. It might be time. It's got to be time. It's beyond time. It was time 10 years ago. It was time for Natalya to go in 2013. It was time to go. How is she still sneaking in the back, though, of WrestleMania matches? I'm perturbed by that. But whatever. Then this segment just got even worse. Because Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler come out there. And they've got just, oh my God, no passion, no heart, no charisma. Shayna Baszler talks about mocking all the women in the ring and how they beat them all up before. And, wanting to beat them up again. Ronda got the microphone and said, how many times have we sold out Las Vegas? Shayna starts to count. And she was like, too many to count. And look at how they treat us. And the crowd is booing, of course. And so she said they don't respect them, so they get nothing. Then Shayna Baszler said they were added to the showcase. They don't have to win a match to be in the showcase. They're just put in the showcase because she's Ronda Rousey, of course. The funniest thing about this is probably the saddest. Shotzi is in the ring with Natalya. Useless ass Natalya. And Shotzi is frustrated by Ronda and Shayna. And she's trying to show her frustration by wanting to march up there and fight Ronda Rousey. But she's being held back by Natalya in probably the weakest way possible. Shotzi is held back 100% like somebody who don't want to fight. 100%. Like somebody who feels like fighting might be on the table. If it's necessary, they don't want to back down. But not at all like somebody who wants to fight. There was pretty much no aggression there. I get it. She was going to be held back by Natalya, but let's be real. Watch that segment again. It was so poorly acted. It was awful. It was awful. I try to tell people I like Shotzi. I really do. But she's the excellence of non-execution. She's not good. I don't know why I have a soft spot for Shotzi when she's so bad at everything she's bad at promos. She's not really good in the ring. I guess I like her enthusiasm for the business. I guess it's almost childlike, but she also has a very childlike performance of everything. It's not good, but I don't know. This match, please just set it ablaze. So apparently it's still one team left. It seems to be all Smackdown, as it's Shotzi and Natalya, which is one of the worst teams I've ever seen in my life. I don't understand why that's even a team. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Liv slapped the shit out of Raquel a couple of weeks ago, but now they're bosom buddies. Well, when they're on the show. And then Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. This was after the dirt sheets told me Ronda Rousey wasn't going to make it to WrestleMania because she's got a torn blah, 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 or a broken blah, 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 blah. And she's going to be there anyway. So apparently she's going to do little work. She might just stand outside the ring for most of the match and not do too much of anything, come in the ring and win. But I'm pretty sure she wasn't going to skip out on that WrestleMania paycheck. They're going to work around her injury, like they usually do. Or it might not be that bad. Who knows? But this match should be doused in acid. This match sucks. And it's kind of embarrassing, if we're being honest. I really don't want it to exist, but it does. Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Gunther. They have a contract signing. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus got into an argument. Sheamus reiterated that his best friend tried to steal his dream. Now he wants to smash his face in. Drew McIntyre says that him and Sheamus, they should have been pals. They should have been going out drinking. But now Sheamus is acting like a teenage girl, blocking him on social media and shading him. Then he says that Sheamus has gotten too sensitive. Can't separate the business from personal. Then he later says that Sheamus can't beat Gunther. Which we know. Yeah, he lost to Gunther twice, but how do we know that Drew McIntyre can beat Gunther? They haven't wrestled yet. And now we just throwing a bullshit triple threat match at everybody, so we won't have to prove that point. They can have McIntyre versus Gunther on Smackdown or something stupid like that. Gunther gets into the ring and immediately confronts Adam Pearce, which is the smart thing to do. Adam Pearce is the dumbass that made this match. Wants him to justify this decision. Justify it! Then he says that it doesn't matter what he has to do to maintain being an Intercontinental Champion. He's going to do that, and it will be justified. At that point, Butch attacked Gunther, and everybody thought that it was going to be Pete Dunne versus Gunther from TakeOver. But I was like, you do know this is WWE, right? And WWE says, okay, people perform to the level of their characters. So they're not going to put Butch in the same situation that they had Pete Dunne in NXT. They didn't. The match was a throwaway. Gunther wins by basically sitting on his chest. He chopped him pretty good in this match. We know that Pete Dunne can do better, but it's just not happening for him right now. It's not the right time. Now, speaking of this, there's been a lot of talk about Pete Dunne going back to being called Pete Dunne, which, Triple H wants to do stuff because these are little things that's going to make the fans happy. You can call him Pete Dunne all you want. If you're not going to change his presentation, if you're not going to change the character, if you're not going to push him the way you pushed Pete Dunne in NXT, then why should anybody care? Ultimately, that's what everybody wants. The people who want that's what they want. They want Pete Dunne to be pushed like he was Pete Dunne in NXT. They got 20-minute matches to bend people's wrists and stuff like that. If you're not going to do that, then changing his name to Pete Dunne really doesn't do you any good. And you're really just wasting everybody's time. But Triple H will make these minor adjustments. And it is a minor adjustment, but it's not going to make that much of a decision. Butch, far more interesting than Pete Dunne was. So I'm guessing they changed the name, but they don't change the gimmick. That's what I'm guessing. The Street Profits get into an argument with Ricochet and Braun Strowman, which all seems goofy to me. Why they were arguing, I don't know. Why is this match happening? I don't know. And I don't care. The KO show occurred to sort of trim this thing down a little bit. Kevin Owens had a gift for Sami Zayn. He told Sami Zayn weeks ago, back in the day when he joined the Bloodline, he got given the honorary Uce shirt, that he needed a new shirt. So he gave him a new shirt, a WrestleZania shirt. And I have to tell you, it's kind of lazy. Like, these Kevin Owens shirts are super lazy. They just tape over one of the words. It's KO Mania. How lazy is that? That's incredible. It's like his workout plan. He does 12-ounce curls sitting on the couch with like a Diet Coke or something like that. It's ridiculous. But the WrestleZania, I got to admit, that rules. Earlier in the promo, Sami Zayn talked about how it's underrated that these two started from nothing and now they're on the verge of winning the tag team titles at WrestleMania. He was very excited about this, like very excited. So after getting the shirt, Kevin Owens was happy, and Sami Zayn was happy, and Sami Zayn wanted another hug. Kevin Owens told him one hug per year, but he gave him a second hug anyway. And at that point, the Usos attacked and beat him up, and then Kevin Owens chased him off with a chair. So, okay. Again, a light segment. No real heat in this segment. They kind of had one big pop tonight, which was the Mysterio pop. But that was pretty much it. You know, they kind of took a night off here, stole a week. But they still did a good job of building up the Mysterios at WrestleMania. So it will be Dominic versus Rey at WrestleMania. That's awesome. They did announce the Battle Royal. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal will be next week on SmackDown. And guess who is in it? The almighty Bobby Lashley. So Bray Wyatt can't perform. And instead of finding a replacement opponent, they decided we're going to throw Bobby Lashley into this Battle Royal. Now, what I'm guessing and what I'm hoping, I'm really going to hope this, is that Lashley is going to have an opponent stemming from this Battle Royal. That him and somebody going to get into it in this Battle Royal and end up having a match at WrestleMania. That's my hope. I really hope that WrestleMania weekend isn't just going to be Bobby Lashley wrestled in a Battle Royal and probably didn't win. And that was it for his WrestleMania 39. Because that would suck ass. Especially considering he was earmarked for a big match at WrestleMania. I don't see why you just couldn't plug in somebody else. You had enough time. You really did have enough time to plug somebody else in. They just... I don't get it. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. It's foolish. Truly foolish for them to do that. All right. They also announced that John Cena and Austin Theory will be the first match at WrestleMania. The opener to night one, which is a prominent spot. One hell of a spot for Austin Theory. Cena's going to get a super hot crowd who are going to be on fire to see him. And he's going to get out of there pretty early and get to watch the rest of the show. In both shows, if we're being honest. So that ought to be nice. So Austin Theory under a lot of pressure to actually, it's about as much pressure now that they have made the opening match very important. It is, what they used to call the curtain jerker. Now that's not really what it is. Now it's like a way of spacing out your main events, that you put one of your big matches on first, and then you build up to your bigger match goes on fourth or fifth or something like that, and then your main event goes on last. So this is a lot of pressure for Austin Theory to start the show. It's going to be under a lot of pressure to start the show hot. It's also going to create an opportunity for John Cena to lose in the opening match, and for people to get over it later. Instead of Cena losing in the fifth match or something like that, and then people maybe being bummed out for the next 30 minutes or whatever, they can gleefully throw the women in after this. They can throw the girls showcase match in next, knowing nobody's going to care about that. People are going to still be pissed off about Cena losing. And then hopefully they can build up to something that they'll actually be happy about. So you have the roller coaster where you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, etc. So if Cena's going to start the show, that's going to be an up. If Cena loses, that's going to be a down. But then you're going to have whatever in the middle. The next thing, your second match. Then the third match should be a pickup match. So I like it. I like the idea of Cena and Austin Theory opening the show. I don't know why they would announce it, but, well, I do know why they announced it. They announced it so they get people to watch the shit. But if you turning in only to see John Cena, though, and not to see the rest of the show, what does that do for you? Because let's say more people watch John Cena's match than any other match on the show. Then those people were only there for like 15 to 20 minutes. I guess they count as unique viewers anyway. They still count, so they can say, oh yeah, 3 million people watched, but those 2.5 of those people only watched like the first 30 minutes, which I'm not going to say it's going to be that many people. It might be like 400,000 or something like that only watched the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes and then came back for the rest. But probably not even that many. Probably maybe 200, 300,000. Who knows? But there's going to be a significant amount of Cena fans who probably don't care about the rest of the show, just want to see John Cena. And those people are going to count towards Peacock's numbers or whatever as viewers. But when you put them on early, you just basically starting early. But you're basically asking for it to taper off as the show goes on, rather than building up as the show goes on. But it should build up anyway, because there's going to be bigger matches going on later. So, in any event, I like the idea. But what do you guys think? Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.